Hi Danish learner, welcome back to my channel Danish Matters. I'm Tina Baga, your Danish friend and tutor. Today we're talking about a word that is called Række. I do these videos where I write ... that represents a word. It could be a noun or a verb, and then I write what kind of word is that? And today it's Række. So Række is actually both a noun and a verb. So let's have their noun first. En række means a row of something. In English, I think you would call it a series of something. Yeah. The conjugation is en række, rækken, rækker, rækkerne. Yeah. Words with that word could be et rækkehus, which is a house that is connected to another house. Yeah, it could be a whole row of them, or just two alone, and then maybe an empty space, and then two again. It might be called dobbelthus as well if there's only two together. Yeah, but often we see them as rækkehuse. It's called et rækkehus because it's et hus. So remember that if there are two nouns that are put together in one compound noun, then it's the last one that determines the article. Yeah, so that is why it's called et hus. So I'm just going to show you, or add more words here. I could also say en række af stole, so a row of chairs. That could also be en stolerække. I could also talk about this in a little more abstract kind of sense. I could say, jeg skal nå en hel række ting i dag. I have to make time for a whole series, a whole row, a whole series of things today. And that's more abstract, right? Because we can't really hold on to all the things I need to do, especially if some of the things aren't really nouns. I mean, cleaning is not really something we can touch. Yeah. And I'm just going to show you the words that I picked. So here we are. So above my fingers. Yeah. And I know I said en række af stole, and that became stolerække. You can't do that with things. You can't really say tingrække. So be careful. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I would say en række af ting. It's just an example. You could say that in so many other ways. I have a whole bunch of things I have to do today. I have a lot of things I have to do today. Yeah, it's the same in Danish. Jeg har en masse ting, jeg skal nå i dag. Jeg har mange ting, jeg skal nå i dag. Yeah, no means sort of having time for, in this case. Yeah, maybe I should do a video on no. Then there is the verb række, and that is conjugated in this way. At række, rækker, rakte, rakt. You could say either rakt or har rakt. And as you might hear, that is actually irregular, whereas the noun of række is regular, but the verb is actually irregular. And I'm going to show you in a minute, yeah, how I conjugated them. Række means to reach, in a way. So I could say, jeg rækker hende glasset. I'm giving her, I'm passing on, or just passing the glass to her. Yeah, jeg rækker hende glasset. In the past tense, I could say, hun rakte hende, or hun rakte ham, glasset. Yeah, so she passed the glass to him, to her. I could say, vil du række mig saltet? Because when we're at a dinner table eating, we would like to reach for several things. Sometimes we can't really reach for things, so we ask for it, right? We do the same, of course, in Danish, and række is a very good word to know when you're seated at a meal with someone. Vil du række mig saltet? Vil du række mig saltet? And then there is at række ud til nogen, to reach out to someone. And it's not quite clear in the dictionary I find whether it means the same as in English. I perceive it in English like this, that when you reach out to someone, you contact them. You contact them in order to get help, guidance, support for something. Yeah? So often in English you would say, oh, I can't really help you with that. But you know what? Reach out to Mikael. He might be able to help you. Yeah, Michael. That it might be in Danish. There are a lot of Danes using it this way. So even if you can't really say it according to the dictionary, lots of Danes say it. So maybe it's gonna become a word in our dictionary one day if it's not really that today, because it says something about personal or emotional contact with someone. When you say række ud til nogen, so reach out to someone or somebody. So it's not quite clear, I find. The way I perceive it is that when you say række ud til nogen, it actually means that you are trying to reconcile yourself with someone. So you've had a fight or you've fallen out due to some reason and you want to get in contact with that person again, then I would say, jeg rakte ud til hende, jeg rakte ud til ham. That's my way of seeing it. And it goes, or it's like, it's sort of accorded to the dictionary, right? Because that is also emotionally and I mean also personally, so both at the same time. I'm going to show you the verb now. You just get the full, I hope you can read it, because at the back of my paper there are actually something written in like computer writing, because I reuse paper, so I just write at the back of something. Yeah. So definitely you can say it when it's emotional, when it's personal. I'm not quite sure you can actually use it the same way as in English, række ud til nogen. And one last thing is the pronunciation. I remember a student I was teaching at a language school many years ago. We were talking about this word. I was then asked to write it, and I wrote it. And you have seen how it's written, or like æble, KKE. And when the student heard me say it, I don't remember whether it was a man or woman, doesn't matter. The person said, but you're saying something that you're not writing. I said, what do you mean? And the person said, yeah, it's like there's a little sound like before the K's or after the A. And he or she was right, because I'm not saying it according to the A in our alphabet. I'm not saying Række, I'm not saying Række. I'm saying Række, Række. There is a tiny J, kind of like Danish J, kind of sound after the A, before the double K. It's a little strange. I have no idea why we do this, but we do, because there is this little sound. We don't just say Række. Maybe some elderly people might. I don't. So either it's my generation or it's regional where I come from that we put in this little bit of a J sound. So now you know that. I hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe. And remember, if you would like a Danish course with me, then write to tina@danishmatters.dk. And I just got left to say, happy Danish learning.